Now, I woke up yesterday to a viral post that got over 2 million views. And it was a streamer that was having, like, the opposite rant of fucking pronouns. Right? Like, literally the opposite of that. And then the press is reporting on it. And so I'm baffled by this. I'm like, well, what words of wisdom have he imparted? Like, what new way of looking at the controversy did he figure out that no one else knew, to the point where people think that they should share the video? And as we're going to look at the rant, you're going to see some of the most safe, edgy shit imaginable. Like literally word for word parroting the corporate opinion. To the point where I'm entirely convinced that this is astroturfed, especially because the press is now reporting on it. And take into account, astroturfing doesn't necessarily mean that he got paid by Ubisoft or they promised him favors, like the next time they're releasing a game, they will give him early access. Although, you know, that is a possibility, but I have no evidence of it. However, what it can also mean is that he did make the rant by himself, and then the corporations astroturfed it, right? Like, they use PR companies, they use various bots that we know Ubisoft and EA likes to use in order to push the message upwards, and then the journalists picked it up to try to make it seem like it's grassroots. But the reality is that if you look at the Steam numbers, people aren't playing this game. There isn't that much interest in this game. And so, like, if it was, like, genuine support for Assassin's Creed, like, you would notice it in the numbers of people playing. But anyway, like, let's look at the rant, and then we can comment on it.
I don't give a fuck what your opinion is of this game. I don't care. Your opinion is worthless to me. The quality of health of my morning shit had a bigger impact on my thought process today than you being upset that there's a black guy in Assassin's Creed.
See?
So shut the fuck up.
This is the safe edgy stuff. Oh no, he talked about feces. He says the F word. Call me when you say a slur, my man. Call me when you do a PewDiePie on the bridge. If you want to be edgy, do what South Park used to do. You know, like, be a man. Either you actually bring the heat or you shut the fuck up. But here's another thing. When I don't care about something, like let's say I don't care about motion blur at all, right? Now let's say I walk around and I see two people arguing about motion blur and they're very passionate. Like, one person says that motion blur shouldn't exist because the game developers are investing too much time into a technology that no one else uses. Another person absolutely loves motion blur. He can't play any games without it. So they're like arguing. Now, I generally don't care about motion blur. I just ignored the conversation. That's what you do, right? That's what you do. However, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is that he cares, but he wants to pretend that he doesn't care. He wants to lie, right? Like, he wants to position himself above it all. Like he's not like everyone else that's passionate about this conversation. No. Like he hovers in the air. He floats in the air like some sort of fart. Like some sort of gas that's just like looking down at us mortals. And he's like above this petty conversation. However, he obviously does have opinions about the conversation, and if you don't share his opinions, right? Like, unless he lives in a society where every single person thinks the same way that he does, and it's not about actions, it's about thought, like, unless you think the same way that he does, he is disgusted with you. He will find you to be a bad person, you know? Like, you should get away from his presence because he's the aristocrat and you're the peasant, and if you don't share his royal opinion, then you have nothing to do at his court. It's the smugness that I absolutely love because nothing has helped the anti-woke movement more than the smugness and the condescending attitude. Because at the end of the day, both of us are humans with the same amount of rights. And so if you're pretending that you're better than everyone else, then everyone else is going to laugh at you and they're going to have a vested interest to show you that, no, actually you're not better than us. You're the same as us. And so, they're not going to buy the product that you're shilling for. And also, like, notice this, you know, this is a real gamer. I love the fact that they believe the gamer identity is still a thing. Like, they must have forgotten when the gaming press joined ranks with the game developers to destroy the gaming identity. Why? Because the gaming identity was uniting people. Like, we were all gamers, and we all had vested interests, and we could organize boycotts against companies like EA Games that were trying to push online only at the time, or Xbox One that was trying to make the Kinect always supervise your room and monitor your heartbeat and only operate if it's an online only connection, right? So, like, gamers were joining forces and they were pushing back against those bad business practices. But instead, what they did is, like, they pushed us identity politics. Now we don't have the gamer identity. Now it's girls gamers, gay gamers, black gamers, right? Like, everyone is like a separate type of gamers with different competing interests. And this was a push that the journalists were writing in the articles. Like, gamers are dead, gamers are over, gamers don't have to be your audience anymore. Gamer, the death of an identity. Gamma Sutra, Kotaku, Polygon, they all published the same types of articles within a day. And what's even more interesting is that if you watched gaming award shows like E3 or other gaming conventions, you'd see that the developers would go out of their way to avoid the word gamer. They would say consumer, they would say players, but they would never say the word gamer. And they were successful. Like, they absolutely destroyed the gamer identity. So now when they say, this is a real gamer, who fucking cares? It means nothing. Like, being a real gamer, I don't care anymore. It used to be a thing to keep tourists out of the hobby. Like, you had people that never played video games, but they were vested either in activism or grifting. Like, they wanted to be consultant for video game companies, or they wanted to do activism in order to get donations. And they were like, you're a fake gamer, in the sense that they generally didn't play games, but they were very passionate in talking about games to get their grift going, right? And they were like, no, you're a misogynist. You're a misogynist. Like, obviously she's a real gamer. Everyone is a real gamer. A thing such as a fake gamer doesn't exist. Like, we have fake money. We have people that can be fake police officers, which is a crime. But for some reason, gamer, like, is the only thing on the universe that you can't have, like, fake gamers. And so, that's pretty much why the word gamer was important, but, like, after they watered down and they destroyed it, I don't care if this is a real gamer or not.
Alright? We're not doing this shit. It's a fucking video game. If you are upset that there's a black guy in a video game...
I love how it's like, it's just a fucking video game, right? It's very interesting because as a video game developer myself, when you want to make a video game on Steam, you realize that there's like a compendium of things that you have to abide by. Like, for instance, you have to mention if your game has alcohol, tobacco, you're not allowed to have a video game that has hate speech, to the point where I don't even think that the Postal 1 video game can be made now. Or the Postal 2 video game. Like, Postal 2 video game has misogynistic things in it, it's got anti-Islamic rhetoric, right? Like, it's a satire game, it's like South Park, it makes fun of a lot of shit. But you can take a cat, right? And you can use the cat as a silencer. Like, you can put the cat's asshole onto your gun and you use it as a silencer. That's in the game. You can piss on people. Like, you can actually pee on women in that game. There's a button that unzips your pants and you take a piss. That's obscene. I don't think, like, you can make a game today with that mechanic. But it's just a video game, right? It's just a game, bro. Why are people so fucked up about it? Like, why are there so many laws of censorship and regulating video games like it's a bureaucracy? Like, it's like now, like, making a product in a factory and it has to apply to at least 40 or 50 standards. If it's just a game, right? Like, it's just a game. Like, why do we care? And then you also notice that you have to pay $120 for it, right? So, like, me telling another person, like, hey, don't waste your money on this because reasons. You're asking, like, why am I doing that? It's just $120. Like, I'm a big streamer. Do you know how easy I make $120? Oh, you work in construction. You break your back working in construction, and for you, money is important. Well, you're just a lesser person then. You know, like, that's the mindset that I'm hearing when they say it's just a game. And not to mention, like, the company spends hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing. Like, hiring some of the best and brightest in America in order to get people to be excited about the game, to be emotional about the game. Like, if you had people that were ecstatic about the game, you wouldn't tell them it's just a game. Why are you so ecstatic? Like, the opposite of the coin never works, right? Like, if you had a person that goes around shilling Ubisoft, praising Ubisoft, absolutely loving Yasuke, having Yasuke as his profile, having Yasuke t-shirts, having Yasuke wallpaper, and then he LARPs as Yasuke, goes around, loves Yasuke. You wouldn't tell him, dude, it's just a game. Dude, just shut the fuck up. We're not doing this. It's just a game. Why are you so obsessed with the fact that Yasuke is black? Why are you so interested in it? They would never do that, right? Tell the Japanese government that it's just a game. Like, is it just a game when the Japanese government comes out and shits on it? And I heard people say, well, that's just Japan, Japan is crazy. Like they're just not in it with the times. They're so backwards. Oh, it's just Japan. Egypt did the same with Netflix Cleopatras. Like maybe your woke ideology is so fucking disconnected from the rest of humanity that it only works with enforcement and social peer pressure. And it works in the West because like all the institutions are working for you. But when you actually go outside of the West and you're going to places like China, places like Japan, places like Egypt, they're absolutely disgusted and horrified by your mindset. Turns out you're not in the majority. Most people around the world do not agree with your political statements that you're shoving them in entertainment. And to water it down and to suggest, oh, it's because Yasuke is black. Well, please explain like why other games that have black characters don't seem to have this problem. Why is it when black characters appear in anime, they don't have the problem? Why is it that in Resident Evil, when the female playable character is black, Shiva, right? No one has a problem with that. Mortal Kombat, no one has a problem with Jax or other black characters in the game. How do you account for that, right? You don't, because you're using corporate talking points. You're not even trying to understand the controversy. You're just going to throw some insults and say that you're a real gamer and we're not real gamers. And obviously this is going to get us to shut the fuck up. No, it's not. Like I bet that this is just for the shareholders at Ubisoft so that they can see, oh, they actually do have some fans and they actually do have a player base. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be reflected in the sales. And so what should go viral is the actual Ubisoft stock prices. I think that should be more viral than this rant.
Fuck off. I don't want you here. I don't care. Stop. I'm not doing this fucking argument. Every goddamn game these days. Oh, it's woke. Oh, there's a black guy. Oh, there's a trans person. Shut the fuck up.
I could actually solve this guy's problems. I think what we need to do, because now we have AI, right? We need to wait for the AI to create Skynet and then create the time machine. And then we can send this guy back in time like a Terminator to prevent Anita Sarkeesian from complaining. Like, he should bring the exact same energy and the exact same talking points to the people that back in 2014 were like, oh my goodness, video games are so misogynistic. Oh, Resident Evil. Oh, they have zombies as black guys. Like, that was actually a journalist writing an article in a mainstream publication. They were attacking Resident Evil because it took place in Africa and the zombies were black. And they were like, oh my god, they're so disrespectful. Oh, how can we do this? Like, sexism, racism, misogyny, sexism. Hire us as consultants, right? We sent this guy to lecture them the same way that he's lecturing us. We sent him back in time during that period, and he prevents that from happening. And we still have, like, the same video games that were made in 2014, like in a time when America would put out a video game and it would go around the world. Like, do you honestly remember how popular StarCraft and World of Warcraft were, right? Like, when they were made by passionate people that actually knew what they were doing, and they had, like, no constraints. There was no bureaucracy, no morality. Just make it because it's art, and everything goes, right? And then you had, like, South Korea having, like, StarCraft tournaments on their national television set. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember, like, how World of Warcraft was a cultural phenomenon? Even communists in China were playing it, right? Do they make games like that anymore? Do we have any game that comes out now from the United States and, like, everyone is mind blown about, like, oh my god, like, look at this immersive gameplay. Look at these new gameplay mechanics that they came up with. Like, look how wonderful this game is. Do we have any of that? No, right? So if we send this guy back in time, like, he's our secret weapon. We send him back in time to lecture those activists from grifting the industry and preventing them from taking over. And now no one will complain about pronouns, no one will complain about Yasuke, no one will complain about shit, right? So he will be happy. We will be happy. The people working in the game industry will be happy because there's going to be less layoffs. The shareholders will be happy. Like, look how much happiness we can do if we just send this guy back in time, the same way that the Terminator was sent back in time, to use the exact same rant, the exact same talking points against people like Zoe Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian, Stephen Totillo, all the people that work at Kotaku, Polygon, you know? And this is such a charismatic orator. Like, I'm sure the same clip will go viral back then, right? Because it's the exact same talking points. It's the exact same argument. So, like, obviously, you know, back then the clip will go viral. Everyone will see it. Everyone will realize the error of their ways. You're going to have Jason Schreier go like, shit, what am I doing with my life? This guy is right. All of these, they're just video games. I should just stop. I should just go outside and touch grass. Like, how silly I was. You know, and Anita Sarkeesian as well. It's like, oh, these games are misogynistic, but at the end of the day, yeah, he's right. They're just video games. Why am I complaining? Why do I go on The Guardian and at the United Nations to complain about these video games? No, I'll just stop everything I'm doing. Anyway, my point is that the way that the whole shift in culture happened is that you had the social justice activists that were absolutely unhinged mentally and sometimes physically, going around various industries with their spears, going like racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, sexist, racist. And they managed to cause absolute chaos and mayhem into all these industries. And they pushed their ideology, right? Like, they came in with their pronouns, with their chest scars, with everything they came in. And then they replaced the competent people, the actual people that knew how to code, the actual people that were passionate about video games. They replaced them with their nepotism, with their friends, with their hacks. And, well, Assassin's Creed is one of the products of that. And so now people are noticing, well, hold on a little bit. Like, why is it that when I look at a game that was made in 2018 with less people, because like this Assassin's Creed has 2 hours of credits, why is it that when I look at a game from 2018, it looks better, plays better, has a more immersive story, and it's done by less people, and it's even cheaper? And so you need to have the clergy now, the priests, these guys, the firebrand preachers, that say, well, no. Don't change anything. Don't change anything, because then you become just like them. Then you're just like them. Like, don't pick up weapons and fight against them. No, you're not allowed to do that. Like, I'm on your side, or you know what? I don't even care. Like, I don't even care about this issue, but what you guys are doing, it's over the pale. It's unhinged. Like, stop it. Don't do that. Like, they need to maintain the status quo. Like, they have to pretend that the way games are now is the way that games were always been done. And nothing should be changed. And if you complain about it, you're just an unhinged person. You're antisocial, right? Because like, this is the cool shit. The reality is, it's not us complaining. It's people from China complaining. People from Japan complaining. Everyone is laughing at the Western industry and what it is. Disney and Hollywood hasn't released a good product in years. Video games are dying. This is not sustainable. No, it's fine, you know, like, you can like your slop. At the end of the day, you know, what are we doing? Oh, we're not buying the game. That's okay, you know, like, Asia is putting games. Like, China is dominating Steam charts right now. Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2 has a black character in it. Not a single person brings it up for some fucking reason. Marvel Heroes, also made by China, has black characters in it. Not a single person is bringing it up for some fucking reason. Fucking gacha games. Like, if you told me that 6 years, like, gacha game is going to do better than a AAA game, I would think you're pulling my leg. Gacha games have black people in it. No one fucking cares. So maybe you just didn't understand the controversy. Maybe you just need to lurk more. Maybe you need to just, like, try to read more, because it's everywhere. You know, the controversy is on every forum. It's on every chat. It's wherever you go, right? And, you know, like, maybe just try to understand. If you can't understand it, that's fine. You know, like, take the conversation, put it into ChatGPT, and ask the AI to explain it for you. Or pay a human to do it. I don't know. But if you think that people don't like Assassin's Creed because it's got a black guy in it, if that's how you summarize it, and that's your understanding, and you can't explain why they like other games that have black people in it, you just don't like this one, I think you should learn more. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section, and don't forget to check the pinned comment in the comment section. I'll see you guys later.